Happy Saturday morning. I just wanted to say thank you guys for the 10,000 subscribers. I never thought that within a few months I would go from, 500 subscribers to over 10,000. Now it's been amazing. The support from the community and stuff in general has been amazing. And I really appreciate you guys. It's been, right at about 7 weeks and the channel just exploded. At first it was real slow, it was like 50 to 100 a day, and then it went to like 300 or 400 a day, and then now it's between like 500 and 1,000 people a day in some instances. So again, I really appreciate it. I thought I would give you guys one of my stories this morning, and it has to deal with another dealership. All dealerships, just like independent shops, they don't operate the same. Some dealerships have amazing management that keep up on everything, and they do genuinely want the good customer base to come in. They want to take care of customers. They're not about doing shoddy work and stuff, and they really care about the people that they service. I had a customer come in that said, I had an oil change done this past weekend, and it was in the middle of the week. It was like a Wednesday or Thursday. But I noticed after getting my oil change done that when I left the shop, I couldn't hear my radio so clear. It was fuzzy, it was staticky, something was going on. And then after an additional week of driving the vehicle, eventually I didn't have any audio at all. So I figured, it's your typical Ford accessory protocol interface module issues, or it would be an audio control module, and this was more a basic model trim package escape. Nothing fancy about it at all. So typically I don't really have problems with accessory protocol interface modules, and it had like the little smaller screen, not the big screen, the big touch screen. So I was leaning towards an audio control module off the bat. That's normally what it is. When you don't have AM, FM, when you can't hear your Bluetooth that's connected to the vehicle through the speakers, but all the touches on the screen and stuff work, and there's no lag in between your selections. Normally it's some kind of audio control module. And I get to looking into this vehicle, and I was like, I'm not a person that just throws parts at a vehicle, so I want to diagnose it. I want to confirm that it's an audio control module before I get into it. I do know a lot of guys that have been doing it for a long time, and they just trust their intuition behind the years of experience that they have, so they will automatically say, you know what, let's get an audio control module for it. There's nothing wrong with that if you're sure that's what it is based on what you've seen and the symptoms. Obviously, you're going to have to eat your labor time and whatever type of repair it is if that doesn't fix it. But typically, because you go right to the more expensive part, which an audio control module is not as expensive on a base model, small screen vehicle that doesn't have all that fancy touch stuff. So you're eliminating the big problem up front, and I know some guys go that way, and there is a high percentage rate that is the fix for the vehicle. But I started looking into wiring, following the pinpoint test, and I'm going through the vehicle, and I'm doing all the basic checks from the harness at the radio down to where I can get to connections and stuff like that. And there's like 3 or 4 wires that just giving me false readings. I'm not false readings. They're giving me live, accurate readings, but they're readings that you normally wouldn't see. I'm unplugging connectors, and I'm ohming out wires and stuff, and load testing wires. Some of the load testing just isn't checking out at all, and I'm trying to figure out what in the world is going on with this thing. And it's something I haven't seen before. On multiple wires, nothing was getting the right information, signal, load test wasn't working. I'm trying to track stuff down. Eventually I get to a point where I'm like, I'm just going to pull the entire seat out of this vehicle. I'm going to just remove everything to get to the harness, and I'm going to actually do a thorough job. And even though I'm going to go over my hour diag, I am now curious about what this is. Why is this stumping me so bad to where I can't figure out what's going on with this thing? Connector at the audio control module unplugged. just doing really, really, really good in-depth detective testing. And, that's what we should do, right? A lot of guys in the field know sometimes you got to get into situations like this. Now, I could go back and I could ask for more time to diagnose this, but I didn't do that. I just said, I'm going to work with what I have. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out where this harness runs and stuff. So I'm following the wiring diagram, and I see part of the wiring runs underneath the seat. So I said, okay, I'm going to take the seat out of this thing and roll the carpet up and actually look at the wiring harness to see what's going on here. And I go to touch the seat and grab the latch mechanism. Not the latch mechanism, the power button mechanism. And as soon as I put my hand on the front of the seat, all of a sudden the audio came on. I said, what the heck? What is this? I call the guys over in the shop, and I said, watch this. I'm going to make the radio play by bouncing on the seat. The radio starts playing every time I put pressure, take it away. Put pressure, take it away. Put pressure, take it away. And they're like, what the hell? And I said, yeah. Every time I put pressure on the seat or move it a certain way, something changes. Okay, something's going on with this seat. Something's grounded out under this thing. And sorry guys, I got hair all over me because I don't see my girlfriend all week, and then when I show up at her house, the dog just attacks me, and she's just all over me. I get the seat out of the vehicle, and I lift the carpet up, and I'm following through the harness, and I can't see anything that's going on with the harness. What would cause this to happen? And then I said, you know what? Something's got to be wrong here. And I start grabbing the harness, and I'm running my hand along the harness, and I pulling on it, pulling at wires and stuff in different areas, and then I pull the harness up directly under the seat, about a 1.5 foot long section, and I pull it up because I want to twist it and look at it, and as soon as I pull it up, the radio turns on. Everything starts playing, music's coming through, just working like it's, brand new, like nothing was ever wrong. And I get to flipping the wiring harness around, and I'm looking at it, and I see where there's like 3 or 4 wires that have a circular motion rub through spot all on the innards. Like if this was the wires here where they all come together, it looked like something was rubbing inside those wires. And I look down on the floor, and there's a little tiny 1/4 inch spot that's sticking through the bottom of the floor. One of the lube techs that changed the oil at the last dealer seen the lower cover was loose. The lower, that aluminum shield that goes under the escapes that's just annoying as hell, and always the bolts always rot out and the corners always rot away from it, and it just kind of hangs and sags. Well, the story is, after she got a hold of the last shop and they got a hold of the tech, he was like, oh yeah, I screwed a self-tapping screw up through that shield to get it to go back up to the vehicle so the customer didn't hear that flapping sound going down the road. Yeah, homeboy did that, trying to look out for the customer, but at the same time cost them an hour worth of labor, and ended up rubbing through those wires and was grounding those wires out to the bottom of the vehicle. I repaired all those wires. Ford has a little metal sleeve collars that have teeth inside them, so when you crimp them down, it pulls into the wire and it holds itself, and then you heat shrink over it. And a lot of people swear by it because it's so strong instead of using solder. So I put those junctions on there and those crimp collars, and I crimped them down and then slid a sleeve over it and shrink wrapped each one of those collars that I put in, put everything back together, took the screw back out of the vehicle where it was down there, and then I actually found a spot that was thicker that would not go through to the bottom, and I refastened that shield. It was just a bad location of where the guy did this. It was such a thin spot directly into the bottom of the vehicle, and then when I do my repairs, I go a little overboard. I might take I do take a little dab of TA357 or some of that Ford Ultra Gray, and once I put like a screw or something through there that's not going to affect anything, I will reseal over the head of that screw so no moisture and stuff can get around it or get up in the bottom of the vehicle, and it never rots out. Just thought I'd share a quick story with you about how sometimes helping somebody out and not realizing what you're doing can cause a bigger problem. Done. by another dealership. Even though I'm a dealer mechanic, it was done at another Ford dealer. Luckily, I was able to fix it and not take the customer's mortgage payment for the month. But yeah, thanks guys. Happy Sunday, or happy Saturday and Sunday, and thank you for the 10,000 subscribers. I'm just overwhelmed with this support. I appreciate you. Something is underneath this seat. So I'm messing around with his seat, pulling everything back, and look at this. Something's wrong with this harness underneath here. Inside this harness, and what they did was they drilled and put those two self-tapping screws there to hold the plastic underneath the vehicle up. There they are.